she was like, one day I can transfer myself into her and I will be with Liam. Because why was she so obsessed with him? Why were they on and off for 10 years? Miley kept going back and forth. It was like completely different people. And to top it all off, she is now with her other daughter's ex-boyfriend. So Noah, her sister, started dating someone and she stole him. Isn't that? They're a creepy fucking family. I love Miley. I do. But I'm just saying the substance could be real and these could be the same people. And let's not forget that Dolly.
Hey, y'all.
Mother and Dolly.
Oh my gosh. I've had a rough couple of days. I hope everybody's doing okay. Let me go grab my tripod. Hello. So apparently TikTok is supposed to get banned tonight at 8:30. So I'm going to go live on TikTok and YouTube to see what's going on. I missed you too. I've had a long, kind of rough week. Lots of personal stuff going on. My son is struggling with his friendship choices, and the other day he and one of his friends were drinking together, and that friend literally beat him up. So his whole entire face is swollen. His body is bruised and sore and swollen. It's been a mess. And as a mother, it's hard to see your child in a situation like that, and you want to help. He seems receptive to listening and taking advice until he gets around that friend, and then it's like they enjoy sabotaging each other. They're like self-destructive together, and it's really toxic. And it affects everyone. So, hey there. So I'm really trying to help him see that friendship isn't only, what you say to your friends. Friendship is about, yes, he does. He knows he does. Friendship is about how you mutually uplift each other. And I asked him to take some time to write down on a sheet of paper, like how this friend has been beneficial and uplifting in his life, like actions, not words, because I keep explaining to him, like, anybody can say anything. It's how they act that shows you who they are. So stop listening to what they're saying and just pay attention to their actions. How are their actions showing that they care about you, that you're their friend? What are they showing you? Turn your ears off. Don't listen to anything. Turn those ears off and watch. How do they show up for you? How do they support you? Do they honor their word? Do they keep their word to you whenever you guys agree to something? Do they help you in any way? Or are they just take? Because friendships are give and take. In order to be a good friend, you have to listen and you have to also give to other people. You can't just always be on the receiving end of stuff. So I'm trying to have him do that exercise on his own to figure out, like, so that he can see for himself, like, is this person actually my friend? Do they support me? Do they support the decisions that I make? Do they want to see the best for me? Because if they don't want to see the best for you and they don't show you that they support you, then how are they being a friend? If they're just constantly like, if everything is just negative when you're around them. I'm going to be on, Lisa, I'm going to be on TikTok, Facebook. So I'm on all the platforms. Kathleen, and this is what I explained to him too. My mother, my sisters, like everybody that I had in my life literally watched everyone abuse me and did nothing. They did not say anything. They did not try to help get me out of those abusive situations. They did nothing. They allowed it to continue to happen. They didn't help me with a safe place to go. They didn't comfort me. They didn't uplift me. They didn't support me in any way to try to help me see that the relationships that I was having were abusive. And that's what I explained to him. Like, I didn't have anybody who was there on my side, like, hey, this relationship is not good, and these are the reasons why. Nothing like that. They just sat back and watched and then complained about what they were seeing happening, but yet they did nothing to intervene. And that's why I'm explaining to him, like, it's my job to help you see what is going on. It's my job as a parent to help support you so that you can see what is happening in your relationships, so that you can take a better look at what's happening and figure it out for yourself. Do I tell him, oh no, you don't need to be his friend? Yeah, I do. But I also say, I know it's not my decision to make. It's your decision to make. But I'm here to show you that what is being done to you is not normal. What is being done to you is abusive. It's not boys being boys. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, people excuse male toxic behavior as, oh, it's just guys being guys. That shit is abusive. It is abusive when you put your friends down, when you are constantly joking with your friends and telling them that, this is wrong with them, picking on them, making jokes about them. That is abuse. And you do not have to be around people who do not respect you as a person and always belittle you, degrade you, talk down to you, and make you feel like you are nothing. Like, that you don't have to put up with that from anyone, regardless who they are. Hey, lady. Yeah, it's been crazy. I've had a really rough week. I was telling everybody that my son is in a toxic friendship with somebody, and him and his friend got into a fight, and my son's really injured. Like, I'm going to have to take him to the doctor tomorrow because he's having a hard time breathing. He's having a hard time lifting his hands up. His whole entire face is like swollen, like double the size. Oh, thank you, Ismegio. I'm gonna be on. I am on Clapper. I am on YouTube. I am on Facebook. Hey, Danny. So, and like his chest is bruised up. His face is bruised up. His like he does not. He's literally wearing like one of those ski masks on his face to hide the bruises. Like, yeah, and going to work too. So I'm trying to help him see that he needs to walk away from this friendship. And I'm hoping that he listens and that he takes it seriously, because it's not just guys being guys. Your friends don't beat up on you. They don't. Your boyfriends don't beat up on you. Your girlfriends don't beat up on you. Like, abuse is abuse. And when you put your hands on somebody else, it does not matter what the fuck happened before that. There are other ways of handling the situation without resorting to violence. And that's abusive. It does not matter who the other person is. Once they put their hands on you, they are abusing you. The police were involved. He didn't press charges. But apparently the friend called him and was like all apologetic and crying. And I said, yeah, that's what they do. That's what abusers do. Abusers will call and act like they are remorseful because they feel bad about what they've done, but stop listening to what he says and pay attention to his actions. How is he showing you that he is sorry for his actions? Is there any changed behavior? No, then he's not sorry. He's not a true friend at all. All he does is take. And they've been friends for a very long time. And I told my son, like, I understand he didn't want the trouble. I understand, like, walking away from a friendship is hard. I've had to walk away from friendships. I've had to walk away from relationships. Endings are not easy, no matter what the ending is. If it's with a job, a friend, a work relationship, just any regular relationship, that it's not easy to end things. But in order to start a new life, you have to end everything in the old one. And you can't do that holding on to a friendship that continues to hurt you. I mean, this friendship is not contributing anything positive in his life. And that's how I'm trying to help him see that. Like, there's nothing positive that you're getting from him. And yeah, set healthy boundaries. It's a problem. Sorry, I need to get some tissue. And sometimes it's really hard to see that you're in a toxic situation when you're in the situation. And that's why I kept reiterating to him, like, don't listen to what he says to you. Pay attention to his actions, because abusers love to use words to manipulate you into thinking and feeling like they are really genuinely sorry. But unless their actions are matching up with their words, then they're not. So what did he do? He called you and apologized? Okay. What else has he done to show you that he's sorry? Nothing. He hasn't made any effort. Nothing. I don't know. I just don't have any more tolerance to abusive people anymore. Like I have zero tolerance for it. And I'm certainly not going to sit idly by watching somebody abuse one of my children like that was done to me. I'm not going to watch it and say nothing. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's my responsibility as a parent who cares about their children to stand up and say something. And I wish somebody had stood up and said something to me when I was in an abusive situation. Maybe I wouldn't have stayed so long. Maybe I would have felt more supported and been able to be strong enough to walk away sooner, you know? But I didn't have that support. So I'm trying to be that support for him. And I really hope that he listens. But I understand young people are young, and it's hard not having a community of support, you know, especially in your own demographic of peers. So I get that that's difficult. Yeah, they've been in fist fights before. I mean, he's been the cause of a lot of my son's problems, a lot of his problems. Not only did this situation happen the other day, but this friend was down at the pool with his girlfriend, and at our apartment complex, down at the pool at our apartment complex with his girlfriend when they weren't supposed to be there because they don't live in the same apartment complex. And his girlfriend was giving him oral copulations out at the pool while there were children around, and the office lady saw it on the camera and quickly went out there to tell them that they had to go. And he used my son's name and was like telling the office lady that he was my son, and started coming towards our apartment. They were going to literally kick us out of our apartment because of that. And once the office lady, like, I showed her a picture of my son, and she was like, no, that wasn't him. But until she saw the picture, she did think that it was my son. And she came up to me asking me about the situation. And I was like, no, like he's at home. And she was telling me about what happened, and told me that he basically said that it was my son. And that was last year over the summer. So like there has been multiple situations where this kid has, I would say, thrown him under the bus, and tried to portray that that my son is not a good person, and like trying to get him in trouble. And even that in itself shows you that he's not a good friend. Like, why would you try to, yes, he's causing problems for the entire family. And that's what I'm trying to explain to my son. Like, your friendship with him is causing issues for me too. It's not just affecting you, now it's affecting everyone in the house. And I just don't know what else I can do to help him see that this relationship, this friendship is not good. I've literally tried everything that I can. If anybody has any suggestions, I am open to suggestions, because I have tried everything and nothing seems to work. I thought that them getting into this fight would be the last straw, but apparently he's accepted his apology and is still calling him a friend. So I don't know. Oh, I'm sure he apologized so he wouldn't get into trouble. I don't think he actually meant that apology. So I could get a restraining order on him for myself, but unless my son gets a restraining order on him, it wouldn't really matter, because he's a problem for my son. But yes, I could go and I could get a restraining order for him. That's a good idea. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Danny. I don't know how I would go about doing that. He is dangerous. I don't know how I would go about doing that, and what I would have to say in order to get it. I mean, I guess I could call the police and ask them, but I do think that it's important to get him away from my kid. Yeah, but what would be the cause for the restraining order? That's the thing. Like, you have to have a reason for wanting a restraining order. You have to give the police something. And he technically hasn't done anything to me. I could tell them about that pool situation and maybe bring up this fight and see if that would make a difference. But I don't know if that restraining order would protect everyone in the home or only me, right? And the idea is to get him away from my son altogether. Because this doesn't happen here at my house. After that last situation with the whole pool stuff, I told him he was no longer welcome to come over here. Hey, Patience. So I think that the police did take a report, but I can call again this evening, possibly after I get off of live. I can call and make another report. I know if I take him to the hospital, they're going to want to take a report. My son's friend and him got into a fight the other day. That's why I haven't been on live, because I've been dealing with a lot of family issues. And my son, hold on. I think my laptop's going to, my son and his supposed friend got into a fight the other day, and my son is literally bruised up from head to toe. Let me grab my charger. They've been friends for a long time, and he keeps causing issues with my son. And I keep trying to tell my son, like, he deserves better friends, but he keeps staying in the friendship, even though, like, he's not a good person. He's not okay. Really. Like, his face is swollen 2 times the size. He can't even lift his arms like this high because he's like bruised all over his chest and his stomach area and his torso. Like, he's bruised from literally here up. And like his face is literally twice the size. I don't know if they would report it or not. My son is 19. He turned 19 in December. Let me ask Joaquin if he took pictures of the bruises. The hospital would record it. I don't know if they would call the cops, considering it's not like a domestic violence situation. I know when you are in a relationship, man to man or man to female or female to female relationship, when you show up with bruising, they usually do a domestic violence report for that. But I don't think it's the same whenever it's like a friend to friend situation. It is pretty serious. I don't know why he's not taking it seriously, but it is serious. Like, he's really messed up over it. And I don't know what else to do to help him so that he doesn't continue this friendship. Because he's the one that did it, right? I'm asking him if he took any photos. If he didn't take any photos when he gets off work this evening, I'll take the pictures for him. And after we get off live, I'll also call the cops and see how they can help me and see what they advise me to do, because I really want him to stay away from my son. But my son's an adult now, like, I don't, other than trying to support and guide him and give him pieces of wisdom from relationships that I've been in, I don't know what else to do to like help open his eyes to see the situation for what it is. So the night that everything happened, the police were called. They were at the McDonald's, which is literally a 3-minute walk from my house. So all this happened at the McDonald's. There were plenty of witnesses that saw everything happen and saw that the friend was the aggressor. And when my son talked to the cops, I'm not sure exactly what happened with that conversation because I wasn't there, but he told them that, the cops basically saw that he wasn't the aggressor. They could see on his face that he was bleeding, he was bruised, and that he didn't do anything. So I don't know if they actually took a report or if they just let it go. But I think every time a cop comes out, they have to take some sort of documentation about the call that they're on. So it's possible that they did detail everything that happened. My son was intoxicated, so I'm not sure what all he told them about what happened. I just feel like he needs to stay away from him more than anything. He needs to stay away from him. And the best thing that I think that he can do, that's what I told him, Danny. I told him if you forgive it and act like it's no big deal, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. I was like, people don't do shit like this just one time. I said, once you allow somebody to think that they can hit you, regardless who the person is, once you allow them to think that they can hit you, they will do it again, especially if you continue to keep them in your life. This will not be a one-time thing. It will happen again. And I have a feeling this is not the first time that it's happened. That's what I'm real frustrated with, because I have a feeling this isn't the first time. But if it is the first time, you have to you teach people how to treat you. And if you're telling them that it's okay for you to do this because y'all were both in the wrong, I think that that's stupid too, Beatnik. Like, why is it okay for guys to beat each other up and then pretend like they're best friends after? That shit is abusive. Like, it's not cool. I don't think that it's cool. I think it's abuse. I think anytime somebody puts their hands on you, it's abuse. It doesn't matter who the other person is. Your mother, your father, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your boyfriend, your husband. When they put their hands on you, it is abuse. Physical abuse anyway, because you know that there are other types of abuse: emotional abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse, and financial abuse. I'm fucking like out of my mind. I've been crying for days. I haven't slept. Like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to keep this kid from fucking with my son. Like, I'm over it. I'm over their friendship. And I was so close to like walking up to the McDonald's because this kid does not have a good support system at home. I know that. His mom really just does not care about him. His dad's moved out. So, like, he doesn't have a good support system at home. And he spends a lot of his time up at the McDonald's because I guess his mom doesn't want him in the house. I don't really know what the situation is over there. I just know that he does not have a good support system. And he's very jealous of my son. I know that he's jealous of my son because my son has a good family support system. My son has a lot of things that he doesn't have. And since being friends with him, those things have slowly disappeared. Because when you're with people and you're hanging out with people that are self-destructive, they don't care about you losing what you have. Like, they want you to be on the same low level that they are on so that you're not better than them. And I've been trying to figure out a way to keep them from being friends. And I thought about going up to the McDonald's to actually talk to his friend and be like, if you are a true friend, you will leave him alone and let him go his separate ways. Like, a friend is going to support you whether you're best friends sitting right next to each other, or if you move on to do something better with your life. Like, a friend is going to want you to excel, not to see you stay stuck in the same place that they are on. That's not a friend. A friend is going to support you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And that's not what he's doing. He's supporting his self-destructive, toxic behaviors. And when they get together, they're both self-destructive and toxic and dangerous. And it's not a good situation for either one of them. So I thought about going to talk to him and telling him, like, stay the fuck away from my kid. But I don't know if that's crossing a line or not. He's trying to drag my son down. Yeah, absolutely. He's trying really fucking hard. I've asked him that, Patience. This has not been the first time. Like, I had to tell my son to leave my home because the last time he was hanging out with them, they were smoking opiates. And I found it in my home. So the night that I found that tinfoil in my trash, I kicked him out of my house because I was like, this is not, I'm not going to allow you to stay here if you're using hard drugs. And he was with him. They were together using hard drugs together. And so he left for a while and was living with my sister. And then he got a job closer to my house, and it was inconvenient for him to live at my sister's house. But he had separated himself from him and started getting his life back together. And now this kid is starting to pull him back into this bullshit again. So you think I should go up there and try to talk to him? I would absolutely record it. Like, I'm not dumb. So he's not using the drugs anymore. That was already taken care of. He is still drinking, but he's not referred back to what he was doing months ago when that happened and I had to get him out of the house. Because I'm a recovering addict myself, and opiates was my drug of choice too. So like when I saw that, I immediately knew what it was. I knew what it was. And I knew that if I allowed him to stay here, that it could potentially mess with my own sobriety. So I made him leave and told him that he was not welcome here unless he was sober. And he's been doing good. So all this happened, I think, a few weeks before Thanksgiving. And since then, my son has been doing good. This is only like, so I don't know if they were hanging out before, but this was the first time that they were drinking together or whatever in a long time. And then this shit happened. And I know I can't choose his friends. And I've tried to like be supportive and help guide him through things and talk with him through things. And I've asked him, like, what about him do you consider a friend? And he's like, well, loyalty. And I'm like, loyalty doesn't mean that you stay friends with somebody even through all the bullshit that they're doing. Like, that's not loyalty, that's stupidity. Yeah, he doesn't bring anybody into my home. Thank you, straight up. Thank you, Barbara. He doesn't bring him into my house. That kid hasn't been in my home in probably almost a year because I won't have him in my home. My son, no, I don't think he's ever been to Al-Anon. That might be a good place to start. I'm not really into the AA support groups because I was also in toxic relationships at that age. Very toxic. I don't know how supportive Al-Anon or those types of things would be. Apparently, Buffy, apparently. I mean, like I said, you know, guys, when they get drunk, they think hitting on each other is like cool. And I don't know if that's how he's excusing the behavior, like in his mind. I don't know if that's how he's excusing the behavior. I don't know. I did too, Sandra. I also relapsed going to AA and NA. They were not helpful for me at all. It was very triggering. So I don't know if it would be helpful for him. And it very well could be helpful. I mean, I'm willing to do anything at this point to help. Megan, that's a good idea too. Introducing him to some new places, people, and things. I've asked him if he wanted to learn new like a new skill or something like that, but I can't be the one to force him to do anything new. It's got to be him. And he knows that when him and this kid get together, that all they do is drink and use drugs. Like, he knows that they're not actually doing anything else. No, I'm actually live. He's 19. And my son is a good kid. Like, he's really smart. And that was part of the problem whenever I asked him to leave the last time too, because I went into his room. Not only did I find the foil with the opiates on it, I also found a liquor bottle in his room. And alcohol is also a trigger for me. So I took the liquor bottle, I threw it in the trash. I called him and I was like really upset about it. And I packed a bag for him and made him leave. And that seemed to help because he wasn't in this general area where he was close to the toxic places, people, and things, right? But he got a job right down the street, and it's inconvenient for me to have to go pick him up every single night at my sister's house to take him to work, pick him up from work, and then take him back to my sister's house. It was inconvenient. Okay, Megan, I'll try that. I've been clean for a while, so. And I do believe that he has some residual resentment and anger towards me. We talked about it the other night. I don't drink. I haven't used drugs or drank anything in 6 going on 7 years. So, but I do know that he's still Sandra, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that. But I know he's still struggling with the things that he went through while I was using drugs, like those feelings of abandonment and all that stuff. I understand that. And thank you so much, Beatnik. And I said to him that, you know, whatever you're feeling, you can talk to me about it, and your feelings are valid. Like, I understand that at that time, my best wasn't good enough, and that there's nothing that I can do to change that. I don't think that it's that he feels like drugs are going to help him cope with his feelings. I think it's a way to avoid dealing with the feelings. Like, that's usually why people drink and use drugs. It's not because it's a way to help with the issue. It's a way to not deal with it, not focus on the problem. And when you're high and drunk, you're not thinking about the problems. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that aspect of it. Yeah, he has to find forgiveness, but he also has to understand that people grow. people are not the same as when they are, high and drunk, that they change. Yeah, it is a coping mechanism, but it's more to not cope. It's more of to not deal with the actual issue. So in essence, you're just using drugs and drinking to avoid dealing with it. And it's not an everyday thing. It's only when he gets around that kid. Literally, it's only when he gets around that kid. Thank you. I am a healed person, so I am thinking about it from a healed person's perspective. Kadeem, I'm not stopping him from doing anything. Clearly, he's doing whatever the fuck he wants to do, which is why he's in the situation that he's in. Thank you, Megan. It's been a very long road of removing a lot of toxic people in order for me to stay sober. And it's hard for me because if his behaviors affect me, and in a way, they wouldn't in a way to where I'd want to get high again, but I've removed all the toxic from my life. And as sad as it sounds, if his behavior doesn't change, I'm not going to be able to continue a relationship with him. And I don't think that he understands that. Like at some point, I'm going to have to separate myself from even him. Because even though I can't stop him from doing what he wants to do, it's my choice whether or not to allow that toxic behavior into my life. And unfortunately, I'm done with toxic people. I'm done. And that includes my own family. So I'm wrestling with the fact that if he doesn't pull his shit together, I'm going to have to ask him to leave my house and cut off communication with him. That's what I'm struggling with. He does, Patience. I've asked him if he wanted to go to therapy. Like literally, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. I don't think necessarily separating myself from toxic behavior is giving up. I think I'm doing what is best for my own peace and sanity. He got in trouble, I want to say his junior year, and ended up having to go to like drug rehab therapy. It was like an outpatient therapy situation, but his dad's insurance paid for that. Now he doesn't have now we don't have that insurance anymore. Patience, I don't think so. His dad said that he's not on the insurance anymore. What's in the jar is valerian root and California poppy. That's a natural herb. You can look it up. And what was in the other jar is magnesium. So, magnesium magnesium. And this is, whoopsie, California poppy and valerian root. Herbs. They're herbs. Literally look it up. You can't get high off of supplements, idiot. I'll need to reach out to my ex-husband again then, because he said that he's not on the insurance. Yeah, I see that. I would have paid for it if that was the case. We do have insurance. It just doesn't cover mental health services or drug rehab. Kimber. Come here, buddy. Here. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. I'll say something to him about it. Somebody came back in putting slurs in here. Like, he's not a goat. He's a poodle. He's a poodle. This is what poodles look like. Thank you, Danny. There's so much, honestly. I took him out. Those are my ex-boyfriends? What are you talking about? Yeah, and he knows that what I'm saying is out of love. He knows that what I'm saying is out of love, care, and concern. And like I've explained to him before, I didn't have anybody in my life trying to guide me into seeing that I was being abused by the people in my life that were being abusive towards me. They just sat idly by and watched it happen and said nothing. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just sit by and watch somebody hurt my children and not say anything and stand up. Yeah, he's 100% poodle. He's got AKC papers and everything. So it'll be interesting to see if TikTok really does leave. What do you mean? What if you're hurting your children? I don't understand what that comment is supposed to mean. How would I be hurting my children if I am trying to show them what they're going through is abuse? So I don't understand what you mean. You might have to be a little bit more elaborative about that because what you're saying doesn't make any sense. I don't know why the guy that created TikTok didn't just create an American company and put it in the American company's hands. I feel like that would have solved the entire problem. Like, just create an American company if they want it owned by an American company, which I think is kind of stupid because what does it matter if TikTok is owned by a company that is not American? It would be called TikTok. It would just be not owned in Shanghai or wherever it is. Yeah, it's about power and control. They don't want us having access to information that and they want our government to control everything, which is crazy. Because the more money that TikTok makes would go to the American government. I think it goes way further than that, though, Beatnik. I think it goes way further than just Facebook and Meta. I think it's about power and control and keeping Americans stupid and ignorant to what's actually happening in the world. Yeah, they want the CEO to be controllable. Exactly. And if it's owned by an American company, American president or whatever, then they would be able to control them. But because he is not American, they can't do anything to sort of pay him off. I don't know how to use these things. Have you guys ever had one of these? It's pretty nice. No. Cool. Text me what your YouTube channel is going to be. I have my YouTube channel already. Oh. Okay. No, this is not a vape. Oh my gosh. No, I do dog grooming content in addition to content about narcissism and stuff like that. Y'all are disgusting. This is a fucking tool, not a vibrator. Okay, so if this is... Does it have feet? Hold on. Pull out for the tripod. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's cute. Oh, here's another one. Okay. I don't know how to use this thing. I'll have to figure it out. Oh, and it extends. Look how cool that is. So the brand that I'm working with, the dog grooming brand that I'm working with, sent me this so that I can create content with it. Okay. Hey, girl. So I can figure out how to use this. Y'all are disgusting. Where did y'all come from? I don't know, y'all. Okay. My dog does like peanut butter. It looks like there's a lot of instructions. It comes with a charger and everything too. Is it Saturday? Y'all are gross. What was that comment about? I'm in South Carolina, so yeah, I'm Southern. You're right, Megan. They don't have anything better to do on a Saturday night. I didn't even realize it was Saturday. South Carolina is South. It's literally in the name. What trans friendly? I don't know. I'm friendly with everybody. Yeah, I'm on Clapper too. Just me. I'm over there too. What's gape? I don't get in I guess we're gonna see, Katrina. It's 8:30 and the live still hasn't gone off, so I am into astrology. You're Southern from Alabama. I'm originally from Texas. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Yeah, I am Mexican. That's literally what I am. A Mexican American. Do I what? I do tarot cards, oracle cards. No, I'm not white. Mexicans are Southern. They're literally south of America, which makes them Southern. My hair, I haven't washed it in a while, so it's greasy. But I use the Monet oil on it. I think it's called Rejuva beads or something like that. Oh, it's called Rejuvenique. It's this. I've had this bottle, I want to say, for 4 years. Yeah, I've had this bottle for a while. I only wash my hair like once a week, and every time I wash my hair, I always use this after it. So after a year, after 4 years of having it, it might be empty now. No, there's still some in it. I use about this much every time I wash my hair, and I don't put it on while it's wet. You have to put it on when it's dry. So style your hair as usual, and then put a little bit right here on the roots, and then on the ends of the hair like that. Once you style it, though. One of my clients is a hairstylist that has her own Rejuvenique, like her own Monet company or whatever, because I know it's one of those like MLM scams. So she has her own thing and her own, I guess, code that I can give you if you want to do it that way. Because I think if you use somebody else's code, then you can get a little bit of a better discount that way. Otherwise, if you just sign up and register, it's a little expensive. Like, I think this bottle is a little over $100, but again, I've had this same bottle. Go get it, buddy. Go. So it's worth it if you ask me. Have a good night, Danny. If you can't find me tomorrow on TikTok, find me on YouTube. Excuse me, Spooky Sammy? What are you talking about? I was never complaining about any neighbors. You must be talking about the wrong person. No, this stuff is not made in China, although I don't know what it matters because everything else is made in China. Who is Burger Planet? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. I have no idea what you're talking about. Go get it. Go. But like I said, I also haven't washed my hair in a week, so thank you. It's built into the entertainment stand. Can you see that? So the entertainment stand actually has the fireplace in it. I have one in here and one in my bedroom. I am. I'm ignoring them. As soon as I'm able to see what's going on, then I just block them. Because, like, I don't understand why people want to be so stupid. You would really like this. So I think that the whole entire entertainment stand was like $300. And It's pretty big because this is a 64-inch TV. So you can see how big it is. It's got storage here and storage here and here, and then the fireplace. And then the fireplace even comes with a remote, and you can turn it on. You can also leave the lights on without actually having it on. See, you can switch the level from level 1 with it just like that to off to level 4, which is what I had it on before. And it's not actually pulling any heat off of it. It's just on so that you have the idea of a fireplace going, which is really cool. I also liked the white. I got it from Wayfair, I believe. If I'm so bonkers, then why the fuck are you still here? Bye. It's really nice. And it does get really warm too. You can take it up to, I want to say 88 degrees is the highest that it goes. I really like it. I use the one in my bedroom when it gets really cold in here. But even though I'm in South Carolina, it doesn't get that cold down here. We had like one really cold week and that was it. I did sign up for Rednote too, or Redbook. I've gotten some content up on Rednote. I like Wayfair. My bed is from Wayfair. My son's bed is from Wayfair. My daughter's bed is from Wayfair. These entertainment stands are from Wayfair. And then my dog doesn't sleep in a kennel. And then I got like this really cute end of the bed bench from Wayfair. It's really cute. Greenville. I don't think so. I think I'm several hours away from Greenville. No, my dog does not sleep in a crate. He's only really in the crate whenever I'm not home because it's just safer that way. Yeah, I'm near Charlotte, North Carolina. Do you know where Charlotte, North Carolina is? If you know where North Carolina is, then I'm right underneath North Carolina on the South Carolina side. So I actually live in like on the border of North and South Carolina, right where Charlotte is. Like Charlotte's literally 5 minutes away from me. Not downtown Charlotte, but going into North Carolina into Charlotte is 5 minutes away from me. What'd you do with it, buddy? What'd you do? I don't know what he did with his ball. know what you did, dog. Oh, I wouldn't know if there is or not, Omar. No, my daughter was actually looking at that place south of the border. She said that I guess one of her friends told her about it. I'd never seen it. And I've never been there. Oh. He knew where his ball was at. I looked it up online because she said it might be a little cool place for us to go for like a day or something. I did not get affected by Hurricane Helene at all. Yeah, I looked it up online. It looked really cute. So we might take like a day and drive down there and just walk around and hang out. I do not know Spanish. I wish I did. Go get it. Do they do fireworks like every day down there? I've never been, so I don't know what it's like. What kind of question was that? Oh. So I live close to Carowinds. I don't know if you've ever heard of Carowinds. It's a theme park that's kind of similar to like Magic Mountain, that kind of thing. And they usually do fireworks like every night at closing time. Sometimes big fireworks, sometimes not. It just depends. They also do fireworks for like 4th of July and oh, thank you, Canine Mom of 7. And they also do for New Year's Eve and that sort of thing. I'm in like Charlotte. Leo, you don't know what she's talking about. She's not talking about south of the border like in Mexico. She's talking about a place in South Carolina called south of the border. Go get it, buddy. Go. Go. So y'all can watch him. He's funny. Here, buddy. Oh, he already took off. Kimber. Can't see it. This is his favorite game. Am I single? Yes, I am. I don't know why that matters, but that's what it looked like, Beatnik. Whenever I was looking at the website online, it did look like going back in time, which I thought was really interesting. You wonder why I'm single? Because I choose to be. He is back to himself. He's very happy and playing like a good dog. Go get it, buddy. Go. Go. If I sit right here, he'll jump over the couch. He'll like leap. See that? That's what he does. He's funny. I need to get in the shower. You like his haircut, Megan? I do his haircut. Go get it, buddy. Go get it, buddy. Go. Go get it. His hair, when I do his hair, Megan, it takes me like 3 hours. The last couple of times I've dyed it. So if you really look at his hair, like some areas it looks orange. Let me see. Can you see the orange in his hair? I dyed it that way. I dyed it orange. Yeah, I love my dog. My dog is all I need. And he's the reason why I'm single. Because he gives me all the emotional support that I need and that I'll never be able to get from a man. Or maybe I could get from a man, just not the men that I chose in the past, because they were not very emotionally supportive. I feel like if I had had a dog before getting married or even having a boyfriend or having children, that I probably would have never done either one. I don't like if I had had a dog first, I don't think I would have had kids, and I don't think I would have gotten married. I think I would have stayed single with dogs all my life. Go get it, go. Yeah, it's dog safe hair dye. It's non-toxic, and you can use it to dye your dog's hair. Yep. I tried to put yellow on him, but his hair is just a little bit too dark that the yellow didn't show up. So I was disappointed about that, because what I wanted was for his like pony mane. I wanted that to be orange, and then I wanted his legs to be yellow. I kind of did all that for Halloween. So he'd look, festive for Halloween, but the yellow you could not see it on his dark coat. I was really disappointed, but the orange turned out good. And the colors that I have, it's actually color and shampoo in one. So all you have to do is wet the dog's coat and shampoo the dog with the dye, with because it's shampoo hair dye, and you let it sit for 20 minutes, and then it actually dyes the hair, and then you just rinse it off. So it's kind of like washing the hair, but with color shampoo. Oh my gosh. So you like having big dogs, Megan. He's actually a little bit too big for me. What I originally wanted was a Bedlington Terrier, but the Bedlington Terrier breeder that I was communicating with had such a long wait list that even if I waited on the wait list, I probably would have been waiting for 3 seasons of of breeding. And I really wanted a dog ASAP. So once I found out that I was going to have to wait like a long time in order to get a dog from the Bedlington Terrier, I decided to get the standard poodle because one of the old groomers that I used to work with breeds standard poodles and just happened to have a litter of puppies at that time. And she still had 2 that were for sale. So I was like, I'll get one. And because they were both boys. If I had a white dog, I would literally dye my white dog all the time. I have pink, yellow, orange, copper, black. So I have a bunch of different colors, but not all of them will show on his hair. Aren't they cool? I really wanted a dog that was unique and stylish. They're a little bit on the smaller side. So the Bedlington Terrier, I think, is like 30 pounds and under. And they typically come to your, like they stand right here to your knees, if that tall. And that's what I was really looking for, but I ended up with a standard poodle instead. So the next dog I get will definitely be smaller than the standard poodle. Yeah, I really wish that I had waited, Buffy, in order to have kids and that sort of stuff. And I know that because I was so young and in and out of toxic relationships, that I wasn't the best version of myself for myself or for my kids. I wasn't emotionally mature. I wasn't physically mature. Like even though I know I'm a good person, I feel like if I had waited, I would have been a little bit more prepared emotionally and mentally in order to give my children the type of nurturing that they needed. I feel like I've been a really good dad, like being able to provide for them and that sort of stuff, but I don't think that I've been the best mom that I can be. Because I was so caught up in like my own issues. Yeah, poodles are really smart. I was able to train him solely myself. Like I hired a trainer and I probably worked with the trainer for like, I want to say maybe 2 weeks. But once I saw that she was actually having me do the training, I was like, why the fuck am I paying her if I'm the one that's going to have to do all the training anyways? I might as well just do the training myself. So I started watching training videos, and one of my favorite channels is a Lucky Dog and obviously Cesar Millan. So I watched both of those religiously and was able to train him pretty much myself. So everything that he knows, I taught him to do. He's super smart and he learns really quick too. Like really fucking quick. He's a really good dog. Right, buddy? You want to see some tricks? He likes doing tricks. So this is our little training pouch because whenever we're out on walks or whatever, I keep this pouch with me. So we'll do some tricks for y'all. Give me Pop. Oh, good boy. Give me Pop. Oh, good boy. Give me 2 paws. 2 paws. Other paw. Good boy. Up. Kimber, sit. Good boy. Kimber, down. Yes. Good boy. Kimber, free. So he's real smart. Watch. He'll only go 3 times before he gets too dizzy to do it again. Sit. Good boy. He's fun. He's a good boy. I love my poodle. Free. And he will work for food. Like, he is very, very, very highly motivated for food. Oh, I don't know if I would want a toy. I think I would prefer a mini because that's like the medium size. So I think a toy would be too small for me. And it's not that he's too big, because he's not too big. He is a big dog, but he's not too big. I've seen some male standard poodles that are like 90 pounds, very tall, very leggy, very chesty. So he is a little bit on the smaller side of a poodle, but I still feel like I would have wanted a little bit smaller. His eyes are what gets me, because if you look at his eyes, they're like hazel. They're like this greenish brown color that's really, really pretty. I'll have to get a picture because it's hard to see on the camera. Your cat gets dizzy with the laser light. That's funny. He'll do it. Right, buddy? Good boy. He'll do it, but he'll usually only do it like 3 times, and then that's it. He's fun though. That's a good boy, right, buddy? Can you see how like laser focused he is on this pouch? Kimber, look at me. Watch. Good boy. Kimber, look at me. Free. He's a good dog. I love my dog. All right, you guys, I gotta go. I had envisioned being able to read to you guys my name on Clapper. It's the same as it is on TikTok, BM Viv the Pet Stylist. I had envisioned being able to read a little bit of our narcissist book, but I've literally been like in a different mindset the last few days because of everything that's going on. So I felt like today would be a good day to just kind of clear the air, just reconnect again, and then we can come back tomorrow. Thank you. We can come back tomorrow and actually read. I do feel better. It's hard for me whenever things happen to show up for everyone else. So when things happen and I get emotional, I tend to self-isolate a lot because easier for me to self-isolate than it is for me to talk to people about it, because when I talk about it, I tend to get very emotional. It's really hard for me to talk about things that I go through without getting emotional. And I'm learning to get better about being open about my journey and about the things that I struggle with and the things that I go through. But it is hard for me to vocalize everything without bursting into tears, and to avoid coming on camera and looking like a complete spaz for crying all the time. I self-isolate so that I can deal with what's going on. I journal so that I can get my thoughts and emotions out, so that I have that safe way to, get everything out of my system. But I am learning to communicate without crying. It is hard because I've always been, I don't know, I guess in my childhood, I've always been made to feel kind of insecure about being emotional. I will. Are you at the same name? Did you find me already? Did you follow me? If you're following me, I'll find you and follow you back. So I wasn't really allowed to express my emotions a lot whenever I was younger. So it is hard for me to talk about things that are going on in my life. And I am glad that I'm starting. Thank you, Megan. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. I am starting to learn how to be a little bit more open. But it is still hard because I've been kind of conditioned to suppress my emotions for so long. I mean, I'm going on 43 this year, so it's been a very, very long time of suppressing and feeling like if I cry, I'm going to be made to feel stupid for doing so. I will give Kimber a big hug. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's everybody see. That's a good boy. Come here. That's a good boy. He's a good dog. That's a good boy. he's hyper fixated on this pouch. He knows what this pouch is because whenever I train him, this is what I use. I just use like thank you, just me. I use a ton of these little like bite-sized treats. They're not very expensive. You can even break them up if you wanted to into 2 pieces, but he learns really quickly. I'm glad that I was able to talk to you guys tonight and kind of get some suggestions on how to help my son to move forward with the situation that he's in. I feel terrible about what he's going through, and I just want so badly for him not to experience the same things that I experienced in life. Like I don't want my kids being abused, you know. I don't think I'm alone in that sentiment. Like I feel like all parents would prefer that their kids not experience abuse in their lifetime. So I really struggle with it whenever I hear that they're not being treated kindly. Because I want better for them than I had. So I'm really trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, and to show them in my own relationships how to accept and create good relationships that are healthy and productive rather than destructive and toxic. Oh my God, Megan, will you email me? Because I would absolutely love to talk to you, and I don't mind paying you for your time. I think that it would be helpful for not only myself to talk to you, but I do think that my son needs somebody to talk to. Even if it's not me, like I would be, if I could get him to talk, that would be huge, I think, for him. It's weird because it's like he knows what he's supposed to do, but whenever he gets around this one friend, it's hard for him to stand on his own morals and his own integrity. But definitely email me because I'd love to carry on this conversation off camera. I've been doing a lot of work on myself. And I feel like a lot of that work is spilling over into my relationships with my children in a positive way, right? Like I understand that me being healthy for me is also me being healthy for them, because when I'm able to show them how to accept love, kindness, and all of these different things, and I'm showing them how to give it to myself, they're learning how to also show themselves love, compassion, support, and all those things. Because we can't really get from other people what it is that we need until we're able to give it to ourselves. And I learned that recently, but I wish I had learned it earlier in life. I so wish that I had learned it earlier in life. I'm sorry that the therapist traumatized you, Mandolin. You didn't deserve that. My mother was a people-pleasing narcissist, but she was also a drunk and a drug addict as well. And I'm still working through my issues with that. And been learning a lot about narcissism and that sort of thing, and how to spot these red flags in relationships before you get too deep into them, because it can be hard. But I feel like I've finally crossed a line where I'm able to see the toxic behaviors before I get too deep into relationships with people. I've not even thought about getting into a romantic relationship. I still have a lot of healing to do before that occurs again. But as far as being in friendships or, the client groomer business owner relationship, I can see how I've progressed over the last 4 years in being more assertive and, holding my boundaries and not feeling like I have to please everybody. Thank you, Moni, for the gift. So I can see the growth in myself, and I just hope that the growth that I'm making in myself is also transferring to my children, because they deserve the best. And I just wish that I had had somebody like myself for myself as it relates to my kids, because I support my kids in so many different ways. And I try to, I try to connect with them, emotionally, but I also want them to feel comfortable talking to me about the things that are happening. I just keep working on myself. It's hard to trust people when you've been hurt in the past before. especially with somebody that you've, told your intimate secrets to, and then they use those as leverage against you. My mom used a lot of information that I shared with her as leverage. Yeah, that's what I want. I want them to have what I didn't get. Nobody was telling me that the relationships that I was in was toxic and abusive. And I think if I had had that, I may have looked twice at the relationships that I was in and the people that I was choosing to be around, but I didn't have that support. So that's what I'm trying to give to them. I think it's helping, even though sometimes it takes everyone a little bit longer to get out of toxic relationships and that toxic environment. Nothing happens overnight, but I think it will eventually happen in its own time. I'm just here to show him support and myself at that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Since tomorrow is Sunday, I can probably go live a little bit earlier, so like 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do a little bit of a chat after we do the book. That way we can really delve deep into the book, because section 3 was how we were going to be working on recovery from the narcissistic mother-daughter dynamic. So I think that that's a great place to start, so that we can all work together to help each other recover from our abusive mothers. Love you guys.